Today I'm back with a third and final pillowcase tank top tutorial. Hi, I'm Megan. Welcome to my sewing space, and in today's video I'm going to show you how I turned a pillowcase into a tank top using a free pattern from Helen's Closet website, and the pattern that I'm using is the Orchard top and dress pattern. Again, I am using one pillowcase, coordinating thread, some binding, and interfacing, and the free pattern which I already printed, taped together, and cut out in my size. Take the pillowcase apart. Here is my long skinny piece of fabric to work with. Cut out the pattern pieces. First step is to stay stitch the necklines and the arm openings 1/4 inch from the edge. Iron the interfacing to the straps and create a double fold binding. Pin the right sides of the binding to the wrong side of the neckline, lining up the raw edges. And sew in place using the fold closest to the edge as a guide. Give a good press and trim down the seam allowance to reduce bulk. Fold the binding over to the front and pin in place, making sure the binding covers the previous stitching. And here's where I realized that I accidentally cut a hole in my fabric while trimming the seam allowance. It's okay, I'm gonna fix this later. Top stitch the binding in place, sewing close to the edge. Clip the binding to even out the edge and give another good press. Moving on to sewing the side seams in place. Now I have decided that I'm going to finish my seams with a French seam, which I have never done before. But there's no time like the present. Let's learn a new skill. And to do this, I'm going to place the wrong sides of the fabric together, line up the side seams, and pin and sew in place at 1/4 inch seam allowance. Press the seams toward the back of the tank top. Then turn the tank top inside out. Press again. Pin and sew at 3/8 inch seam allowance. And here's what a finished French seam looks like. Alrighty, onto the straps. With the right side of the straps together, pin and sew in place. Trim down to a 1/4 inch. Press the seam open and reshape the binding if needed. Pin the right side of the binding to the wrong side of the underarm, offsetting the side seam and binding seam by about 1/4 inch to limit underarm bulk. Then sew the binding to the underarm using the fold closest to the edge as a guide. Give a good press and trim down the seam allowance to reduce bulk. Turn the binding to the front, pin in place to cover the previous stitches. and then sew the straps all the way around, starting and stopping close to the side seams. Looking pretty great, time to do the hem. The pattern called for a 1/4 inch hem. I'm going to do a double folded 1/2 inch hem. Press and then sew in place. And I bet you forgot about that hole I made. What I'm gonna do to cover this hole is attempt to embroider a rose. So again, busting out my water erasable marker, I'm drawing 5 lines kind of in the shape of a star. Then using coordinating embroidery thread, and place 1 long stitch over each of the 5 lines. Bringing the thread back up to the middle and weaving the thread over and under these 5 lines, over and over and over, and eventually it starts to look like a rose. Once it's big enough, just pull the thread to the back and tie a knot. And that's it, a third and final tank top upcycled from a pillowcase. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!